Hey everybody, Racetrack Ladies.
Yeah.
Here we are.
4 of us.
All four today.
All four.
I told you next time you saw us, there'd be 4 of us.
We multiplied. We doubled in the night. So here we are sitting in our parking lot. Today is Saturday, and it is the nationwide race today. But last night we had the truck race, the
Right.
Camping World Series truck race. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was delayed because there was some rain, so
we had to listen to Michael Waltrip. Yep.
I like Michael Waltrip.
He yaps a
talks too
lot.
much.
he talks too
Yeah,
much.
but hey, thank God he was talking because the race was boring.
70
Yeah.
laps worth of
Yeah.
nothing.
Right, so-
Nothing.
Well,
It
so
was choo-choo train boring.
Well, a single line.
so-
but it was nice that there were a lot of there are a lot of young kids that are coming up in that series.
And I think that was one of the highlights
that was
of the
kinda
night
cool.
is that on the pole we had Ben Kennedy,
Right.
and Ben Kennedy is the daughter. It's the daughter.
Daughter.
Oh my
Great
God. the
grandson.
son of Lisa France Kennedy.
Yeah,
Ryan's
so
sister.
kind of part of the legacy of the O Sport here.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool to see him
It's
on.
cute.
I didn't really look at him.
Great.
I did.
It's the great grandson of Bill France.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, that's
Ish, yeah.
Too much to think about this morning.
But yes.
I don't know.
So basically, a lot
He's
of
a
new
friend.
drivers, in the series,
Jeb.
and
Jeb Burton.
Yeah, Jeb
Jeb
Burton was in there.
Burton. And there was a lot of cuties.
Yeah, there were people who, like Ron Hornaday, who's been around forever and a day.
Yes, it's nice
Yeah.
to see him there.
And
Yeah.
then Keselowski owned Blaney's ride,
Right. Mhm.
and then Kurt Busch was in there.
No,
don't
Kyle Busch.
Kyle.
Oh,
Busch.
Kyle,
I
whatever.
don't care.
Yeah, Kyle. That's
So-
what I meant, Kyle. I
So
like Kurt.
on the pole, since I guess it was, I don't know, on the pole was Brian Kennedy,
He was
right?
wearing, no, Ben.
Ben
Ben.
His
Kennedy.
name is
Yeah,
Ben.
sorry, I'll get that right. Ben
Kennedy,
Kennedy.
just Kennedy.
And so the race starts, and it was pretty much not very exciting.
No, it was nose to tail, just
Yeah, they said it was a new truck. I said for
I
the
don't
new
know.
nose.
It was a new
Yeah,
nose.
new
New
nose.
nose.
It was a new nose.
So-
New nose.
we were hoping we were going to see something,
side
that
by side.
resembled
you know.
racing.
But I will say, I mean, the trucks do have a
They're
lot of
racing.
movement because you would see them come down into the tri-oval, and they're like a bouncy.
You could see them fighting in the
Working
The
the wheel.
side draft.
Yeah, they were working.
Doing a lot of
Yeah.
side draft.
What
Side
did he?
suck.
What did he call it when they had
Dooring.
Dooring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dooring.
Dooring.
It's a new word. It's a new verb.
Yeah.
They were dooring.
They were
Dooring.
dooring.
Yeah, that was when you get the side suck. They were dooring. I thought that
hadn't
was
heard-
interesting.
yeah.
I hadn't heard that before.
We didn't know what it was.
So what? So yeah. So there is single file, and so the thing I thought was interesting is that most everybody was on the bottom line. Now, why I found that interesting is that if you looked at the other races that we've run so far, everybody's normally been in the top line.
So maybe they thought that the bottom hugging the
trucks.
yellow line was
Trucks
giving
are
them.
different.
Well, by the time we got to the end of the race, the top line won.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe the
by a
outside,
second.
maybe the
By less
outside
than a
line
second.
was
Less than
getting
a
them.
second.
Maybe whoever was in the outside line, depending on the make of the truck, was giving them more power.
I don't know.
Okay, I think you can tell we're in a parking lot.
That's not us going off, by the way. Nope, not us. So then,
And I
so
have a feeling these people are at the track.
they're not going
Not
green.
Because when they get back, their battery will be worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So, and of course, there was the big one, and it was big, and it was ugly, and
Yeah, and that happened towards the end. Of course, it
Yeah,
all happens
After
towards the
70
end.
laps, the big
Yeah.
one happened. You know, just somebody got squirrely.
yeah.
Well, somebody got too much of a bump, so they could bump draft, but they couldn't push because
Right.
NASCAR can really regulate that. So he, was it Kligerman that got the bump draft, and then he went whoop boop, and then went boop, then the other car,
Oh,
then
man.
Mingus, oh my goodness, then goes
That was a
boom into
hard
the
hit.
wall.
yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
Hard hit.
Yeah. So then, that took a while to get that cleaned up. And then
Yeah.
once that got cleaned up, so then it was a restart. And so the outside row kept trying to make something happen. And finally, Timothy Peters jumps out to the outside row and starts to make something happen out
Well,
there.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of that was inexperience as well, because he was holding his line, he was doing very well, and obviously, Kyle Busch was coming, and he did what he thought that he needed to do to win, but
Oh, yeah, he
actually
did.
it opened the door.
Well, I
Well-
think you had a more experienced driver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Peters is a good experienced driver, but I
He's
think
won
you
here
had
before.
Kyle Busch, who
Kyle
knows
Busch.
how to
Last minute.
Bring
Well-
it on down.
So bring it on down. Bring it on down to Beaconville.
Bring it on down to Checkerville. That's what he did.
So, if we're, we also need to talk about the pit stops that happened. That Brian Kennedy went in first, or Ben Kennedy went in first, and then he stalled, and that set him back. So then he was never able really to catch up much. I think he
Well, he was
was
in
in
the
the
He
top
was in the
five.
top
Penalized.
10, yeah.
He was penalized 7 laps because he didn't
What?
make
What?
yes.
7?
Which
He was-
race were you at?
No, not 7 laps, 7 spots.
Yeah, he wasn't penalized. He just
Okay,
lost them.
I was falling asleep at that point.
Yeah. So he had been strong because he had been up front the whole entire time, but then it showed once he got back in the pack he couldn't do anything.
Right.
So then Timothy Peters finally gets that outside lane to work, and he starts going around. So he finally edges out. Kyle Busch gets into the front, but then he got a little paranoid, and I think that's what cost
Yeah,
you.
that's what caused
He
me.
Well, I
he
think
tried
that
to block
he
the
was
whole
trying to do
field.
the.
And you can't do
He
that.
was trying to do the Bush move.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
trying to do blockage.
Yeah, no, it wasn't going to work. And obviously it didn't. Because I think he scrubbed some speed as he tried to block
Right.
Bush, coming out of that turn 4 into the tri-oval,
Yep.
and that sunk him.
And
He
Kyle
had to
knew it.
stay. He needed to stay focused on his line
That's right.
and run it.
Stay with the
Right.
push
And
behind
don't
him.
worry about who's behind you. Just
Yeah.
stay focused on your line.
It was working for you. You should have stuck with it.
Yeah, so
'Cause we were pulling for you.
Yes, we were pulling
we
for
were.
you.
Oh, we wanted an ABK. Anybody but
You could have
Kyle.
had anybody in that
We were
front
screaming
spot.
it.
We were screaming it.
Yeah, well, so then the race was over, and we
Yeah,
were like,
we
okay,
all
we're
went
going to bed.
We didn't listen to no interviews
Nope.
or nothing.
No, it
It's
was
just
like
Kyle once
it was
again.
disappointing.
Didn't care.
Well,
So there you go. So that race was not very exciting, and they had the melee, but that was unfortunate. But that was it.
Yep.
So now here it is, Nationwide Race Day, and it is really overcast today. There is a chance of rain today, so we don't know when that's going to come.
Get.
It'll probably be a hat day when we see us later. With hats.
Oh, I didn't bring a hat. But,
I didn't put my head in my bag.
Look at her hair.
Ruh-roh.
She don't need
You're
it.
gonna see what you see.
What? All right, so then we're going to be heading to the track in a little bit, but for now, I guess that's it about the truck race. It was not very exciting, but there you go.
Alrighty.
All right.
I think that's all we got to say because it's kind of yawner.
Yeah, there you go.
Big
All right, so with nothing else to say, then I guess the next time you'll see us is to review the Nationwide race, and we'll be a little bit more pepped up because it's a little early in the morning
Yeah.
still.
I gotta take a nap.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, so until next time,
we'll
be at the track and going green.